30320 representing JBS. I got the lovely Alicia back. What up, girl? Yeah. We are back for episodes 5 and 6 of Luke Cage. So Luke. And we're gonna go with 5. So the name of that title was Just to Get a Rep. And like she said, with Jessica Jones, it takes progression. You know, each episode builds on each other. The consequences of one episode kind of elevate the next thing. And just sure enough, like the beginning of the episode showed like Luke picking up boulders and stuff from the rubble. Yeah. And he found the swear jar, and Misty found like a photo of his ex-wife. Or
Misty. I still didn't like her episode 5. She wanted to smack her.
Episode 5, she was really a jerk to Luke, because even with the funeral, she had said to Luke, don't go to the funeral. And I mean,
how you gonna tell somebody to come to somebody else's funeral, okay? Don't come.
But I say this though, like it reminds me kind of like you kept on saying about Spider-Man, like Luke's really taking on the responsibility of the city, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though he doesn't understand what his whole role is gonna be, like he's like, I got everybody, you know? And he goes from door to door, different things that, like, I was like, this man is like legit going out there, you know, making a difference, you know? But it's crazy because the other side of that is Cottonmouth.
Cottonmouth lost his mind, okay? It's one of the things like his character really shows you how, like, anger will become your demise. Like, he could have walked away. Yeah. He could have cut his losses and walked away. Yeah. But he was so mad. Like, in his pride, like, men and their pride. Like, his pride was so like, oh my gosh, this is my Harlem, and he's da. Oh, okay, bruh. See what that gets you, bruh. Anyway. Cottonmouth lost his mind.
Yeah, it's crazy because Shades and his cousin both told him, like, look,
walk away.
You have enough smarts and ability that you don't even have to do any of this. It was true. Like one of his associates, that was a dumb associate, essentially, started reading a book. He was like, this kind of platform will lead to your demise. Why don't you just leave Luke alone? Mm-hmm. Let him do what you're doing. You stay out of his business. But his pride, like she said, got him. He shot the dude in the head.
In the head.
In front of everybody, like, and he just, I don't know, like, it's interesting to see as a performance, as a character, like, he is nailing that role. Yeah. Like, I know him outside of this role, and he never plays a role like that. He's always kind of like the meek and mild kind of person, but he is savage in this one. I think one of my favorite sequences definitely was the funeral sequence.
Oh, yeah.
When he went up there and started talking about Pop and his perspective, how Harlem is, and then Luke comes back with it and like flips the script, and I was like, okay, who's everybody gonna vote for? Because everybody was so quick to like root for Cottonmouth, and then the next minute they're rooting for Luke, and it was like they're literally the heart of the city is being fought for.
Yeah, people fickle. Yeah. But that scene was epic because you got to see like from Cottonmouth's mind, like in his mind,
he thinks he's right.
He thinks he's right. He thinks he's doing what's best, and like that crime, and like he just thought that that's what was best. And it was so weird to see how warped his mind was.
Yeah. And then like after that, Luke came up to him at the car, and I was like, Luke is no chill, bro. Nope. Like, I mean, not only is he strong, but he just don't care.
Nope.
And so, I think that this was a really good episode.
Chill.
What did you give this episode rating?
You know what? This is what I would say. And I'm being kind of critical. I've been very critical thus far. However, I think what episode 5? I think episode 5 is the best one yet. Mm-hmm. I would definitely give this one like a 9. Because it was really, 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 really good. Like, you got to see, like, finally, it gave me something. Like, there wasn't all this, like, I don't know, it was great. And it's like, I'm starting to see, like, we were talking about this earlier and even a little before, like, there's a pattern. Like, you gotta kind of fight for me. Because I knew very little about Luke Cage, and, I mean, he knows all these things. He knows all the story, but I knew very little. So it's like, you gotta fight through this, like, the time that I feel like the time of the character development, you gotta fight through that.
Yeah.
to get to, okay, this is where we are. And episode 5, we get there.
Yeah. But I mean, I will say though, before I get my rating for this episode, you starting to see little cracks in between where Luke is going astray too.
Yeah.
Because it's like the more people put you on a platform, that's where you can fail. And like when he was like holding this one dude up by the neck, I thought it was funny, but I was like, is he really contemplating killing him? Because back when he was in prison and fighting, like he did kill people.
Yeah.
So it's like, is he gonna turn? You know what I'm saying? Is him in the process of trying to save the city's soul? Is he gonna lose something? Not just like a person. So for me, this is definitely a 9 out of 10. Hands down, this is a really good episode. I actually really enjoyed it.
This is the first time we ever given the same rating.
This is dope, man. So let's go ahead. We're about to go into episode 6. Suckers need bodyguards.
Suckers need bodyguards.
So if you haven't seen episode 5, this is a spoiler alert. Take this, put in your watch later, come back to it because we're about to go all in. Because this episode
right here
was dope. It was dope. It brought back Claire, the night nurse, who helps out all the superheroes.
From Daredevil, from Jessica Jones. Like, she's finally reunited with Luke. Reunited and it feels so good. Sorry.
Yeah, so with Claire being back in town, like you find out her mother lives in Harlem. So that's where her connection with, and she was even saying, she was commenting on things that happened in Daredevil season 2 that she doesn't know about. I don't want to spoil it here for any of y'all that haven't seen Daredevil season 2. But then she even mentioned like Luke and
from
like
Jessica Jones,
and how he like she saved his life kind of, but at the same time she realized she could be so much more. She doesn't want to be tamed by what she can do in the hospital. And so then all of a sudden Luke walks in and Mom was like, there he is, you know, what you gonna do about it? And immediately they hit it off, and it's really interesting what she brings to the table for him from an emotional and from an integrity standpoint. It's almost like she embodies what Pop's ideals were for him. And I thought it was really good part of it. But then the trick about this episode was that
Scarfe.
Scarfe. Like in the beginning of the episode, it was Cottonmouth and him. You find out that Scarfe, we knew at the end of the episode, he had Cottonmouth's guns. Yeah. And he was keeping them ransom instead of just being, you know, just giving the darn man his guns. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just does stupid stuff.
They do.
And sure enough, like, he was like, I want, what is it, 150 large or something?
100,000.
And all of a sudden, like, Cottonmouth was like, nah, bruh. And then he tries to pull a gun on Cottonmouth. Cottonmouth takes the gun back and shoots him and leaves him there. Instead of killing him, he leaves him there. And I was like, why would you, okay, if you knew, that's the thing that it did make sense to me when I thought about it. He could have killed him there on the site, right? And then, you know, instead of hiring everybody to kill him later, like, he could have just ended the episode. But it does make for a tension-driven episode.
Yes, it does, because it's just like, I think in this episode, I feel like Misty finally got some redeeming qualities.
For me,
I think
yeah.
in this episode, she was kind of humbled a little bit because she was up on her high horse of greatness, and then it's like, no, this whole time, like, your partner has been, like, dirty. And it's like seeing her come to that realization that this man that she admires has always been down for her, like, is like one of her closest people is like a snake. Yeah. Like that. And you can feel her hurt. And even at the end when you know, wait, we spoiling or no spoiling?
I mean, we can talk about the dynamics behind it. Like, Lucas said to her a while back, like, you can only go but so far in the law. And what my way is, there is no limits to what I could potentially do to help people. And I think she finally got this understanding, like, man, the law is actually broken. Because if somebody that she looked up to, you know what I'm saying, could do that, then how much more can she actually do? Because now all the stuff is unraveling, and she can't do her police work right. And now she's like, I think she's going to take the law into her own hands.
I mean, I feel like, no, if I had to say, I think that her moral code is too strong to do that. I think she's still going to err on the side of what's right. But I think that she's finally taken the rose-colored glasses off.
Yeah.
Like, she realizes that it's not so much these are the good guys, these are the bad guys. Like, there's so much more in between.
Yeah.
Because this whole time she's been looking at Luke like he's part of the problem. Like, you're the problem, you should leave. But I think now she realized that there's so much more at play.
Yeah.
And even at the very end, like, when she, like, has this emotional moment, you're like, oh, you got feelings under there.
Yeah.
But I think that was really good. What else?
Oh, yeah. There was another cop that put a gun on her. Like, in the car with her, and like she had to get bucked with him.
It was crazy. And then also this episode, what's the councilwoman's name?
The cousin.
What's the cousin name? Alfred Wood Carol. What is her name? She, first off, I feel like in all these episodes so far, like, you knew she kind of knew a little bit, but she gets a little crunk too. And then it's like finally, because I've been waiting for this moment, to be honest. Like, the interview scene, just if you haven't seen it yet, the interview at her house. Yeah. Like, I've been waiting, because I'm like, how can everyone know that you're this connected to your cousin? It's always your cousin. Yeah. To your cousin, and your hands stay clean. Exactly. They shouldn't. Like, how can people not see the connection? And finally, like, it's just like, psh.
Yeah. But it all started with Luke coming to her house.
And so, I'm bringing your cousin down, I'm bringing you down too. Hello, message received.
And the thing was about that, though, is two things I got out of that. That this lady is dark. A darkness that I think that might transcend Cottonmouth. When I saw her sitting there looking at a photo of this lady that they keep on talking about, this, like, you know, like the darkest of the dark, I was like, dude, she got some screws loose a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But then the other side of that, she went and talked to Cottonmouth. She was like,
does he have gifts?
I was like,
drown him. I'm like, wait a minute, I never thought about that. Could you drown Luke Cage?
Like, where do you get these thoughts? Like, she poisoned him.
I was like, wait a minute.
Wow.
Wait a minute.
So
I hadn't thought about that.
I mean, well, he never got to that, but just for her to have that in her mind and her heart, she might be darker than Cottonmouth, and I didn't even realize it, and it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It's just like kind of like Hogarth and Jessica Jones. Like, we didn't see the darkness in her until stuff started revolving out when she wanted to get what she wanted to get. True. So she kind of embodies that a little bit. But this episode, all hands down, was really dope.
Really
episode.
Good. I would give it. To me, it's another 9. Like 5 and 6, man. In the event you have seen 1 through 4, and you're just like, yeah. That's how I feel. I'm like, no. Yeah. 5 and 6 will take you where you need to be.
Yeah, I give this one a 9.5 out of 10 for me. I actually really enjoyed it, and I think that it lays a clear foundation of like, man, now that the cards are hit, like, what's gonna happen when everybody reneged? Like, how are we gonna start this back over again? But what did you give the episode?
9, and I'm actually interested in seeing. Because in the last episode, you don't see Shades. Shades has miraculously disappeared. But I know he's coming back. But I don't know, like, I want to know, I'm interested in where he went. When is he coming back? Like, what does that look like? Like, now I have more questions. I feel like 5 and 6 finally give you questions that make you want to keep watching. So I'm very excited.
And then where's Diamondback? When is he going to come?
Who is this Diamondback? We ain't seen him yet.
Yeah, so.
Or her. No, it's him.
It might be her.
It might be her.
We'll see.
We're gonna see.
But hopefully y'all enjoy this review session with us. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. Y'all have a blessed night. Peace.